Hello, welcome everybody. Firstly, I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians on the land on which you and we are meeting today and pay my respects to elders past, present and future. Thank you for joining us today for the first in a series of the Queensland Tourism Awards Judges webinars to help entrants through the award submission journey. So these webinars have been designed for you in small bite-sized pieces to just make your journey easier to be able to successfully enter the Tourism Awards. My name is Liz Ward. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tourism Tribe, and I've been involved in the Queensland Tourism Awards for a long time. I've done 2 3-year terms of being a judge. I've enjoyed every moment of that. And I've also been a mentor, and in fact, I've also been involved in submitting for my own business awards, managed to go through all of the hard yards of getting a try harder badge and then working our way up to winning gold and going through to nationals and winning silver. So lots of great memories about my journey through the awards, and I'm very happy to be involved in it and be your MC for this session today. So our first webinar is a nice short one where we're going to provide you with a brief introduction to the Judges Webinar Series and the 2021 Queensland Tourism Awards program. Of course, you may be thinking, wow, what a tough year to be moving into doing a tourism award submission when there's so much uncertainty and I'm, just so busy dealing with the changes that we're dealing with, or it's just been a really rotten year for business. And so we certainly acknowledge that, but we also say to you that entering the Tourism Awards in 2021 is a great opportunity to be able to showcase your innovation in very dynamic, changing times, to demonstrate your resilience and certainly to demonstrate your long-term commitment and professionalism, your long-term commitment to a very strong future for your business. So we do encourage you to enter the Tourism Awards, and there's always all the other benefits that come from it as well, in terms of, it's been firsthand for me observing this with businesses, is when they identify the improvements that they can make, which is intrinsic when you enter the Queensland Tourism Awards, is you identify improvements and opportunities for your business. So that's a great benefit as well. So please use this opportunity and make the most of it to tell us about your innovation and your resilience. Today you'll see on screen some beautiful people here, but it's not just Andrew Millwood. It is also Elizabeth Hackett. And Andrew is the chair of the judges of the Queensland Tourism Awards, and Elizabeth Hackett has been a member of the Queensland Tourism Awards judging panel for some time, and also is on the judging panel for 2021. I'd firstly like to introduce Elizabeth to you. So Elizabeth is a hands-on tourism industry professional, very well respected, and has 30 years experience in the development and implementation of management strategies and operations for tourism. And if we had time for her backstory, it's fantastic, pretty much being born in a 5-star hotel. I love that story. But of course, you've diversified a lot in terms of the group of companies that you own and manage, Elizabeth, which is an NSX listed company, Australian Adventure Tourism Group. And you have owned and operated those tourism assets in Queensland for over 20 years. And you are also the Director of Operations and Marketing of Magnums in Airlie Beach. So firsthand, you've been dealing with all the ups and downs of COVID, and you have a full understanding of what that means for others in the industry. And I think you're the perfect person then to ask Elizabeth as to why you think that businesses, tourism operators, should nominate for the Queensland Tourism Awards in 2021.
Thanks, Liz. Oh gosh, I think sitting here today, I'm sure people are wondering what's in it for me, the Tourism Awards, and there has to be something in it for our entrants. And for anyone who has entered before, the template alone really helps you to achieve business excellence, and whether that be in marketing, sustainability, customer service, we are all pushed to our limits to make sure that we've ticked every box within our business For that reason alone, I would suggest that everyone seriously has another look at entering and joining us again this year. It's difficult, no doubt about it, but I truly believe we owe it to each other. As soon as we get back to normal was great, and we can do that. And a big part of that is the awards. We all aspire to be the best in region, best in state, and obviously we need to be on that national stage as well. What we have to offer in Queensland is extraordinary, and I would suggest that the competition has never been tougher between the states. We're all after that same piece of the pie. We don't have the international market at the moment, so the states are going to be very competitive this year. It's not a time to stand back, it's a time to really lean into it. And I know I've said it before, but who's to say that our recovery can't be better than our setback? I truly believe it can, but we actually need to be on that stage to make that happen.
So you're saying go for it. This is it's a different year, very different circumstances, but there's still plenty of benefits to come out of it. And we want Queensland, as you say, to be on that national stage. The fact that there are going to be national tourism awards, whilst every other state in the country has gone through, in some cases, worse situations than we have in Queensland, then we need to be there as well. And
absolutely. We owe it to each other as industry colleagues and operators.
Absolutely. And of course, there's lots of help that operators get through this process, and which is an excellent segue then through into what Andrew is going to talk with us about. So let me introduce everybody to Andrew. I'm sure many people know you already, Andrew. The current chair for the Queensland Tourism Awards. What a year to be the chair. And you've been judging, though, in various capacities for over 15 years now, so you're very dedicated. And you've held senior management roles in tourism and travel for the past 30 years, developing a number of key tourism products and services, including a range of web-based and mobile tourism applications. And so, Andrew, you would be very mindful of adjustments that are right for the current environment that we're working in, and also improvements that make it an evolving platform, the Queensland Tourism Awards, and maintain its relevance. So I understand there are adjustments in the 21 program so that businesses can share their stories about how they are overcoming difficulties over the last year or so. Can you tell us about these? What do those changes look like?
Yeah, Liz, there are a few changes which they've incorporated the 2021 awards program. So there's three sort of main areas that we'll be looking at. The first part of submission is the written submission, and that usually accounts for about 70% of the score. We'll be having the online review, so looking at the websites and so on, and that usually accounts for about 10%. And we also have a new area, which is consumer ratings. And that will include the use of Review Pro. And I think, Liz, will be putting on another webinar specifically on that.
Absolutely. I think of all the calls we've fielded so far around the awards, this has probably been a major concern to people. It is new. Some people aren't familiar with Review Pro. So we certainly will be offering some clarity around exactly how that works for all the businesses this year. And I'm a Review Pro user myself. It's an extraordinarily good service and provides you with a wonderful digital footprint for your business and certainly for the judges. But if you are not up to speed with it, that is certainly not going to be a disadvantage whatsoever.
And we'll be having quite a few webinars coming up. So things such as tips for first-time entrants. We've got ones on images, which I know that there was a lot of questions about that a couple of years ago. And we'll be also reviewing other areas where people have come and given us some feedback about some specific discussion points. But today, as Liz has said, we are focusing on the changes for the 2021 awards program. So the first big change I think that we've got, which is a little bit different to what we've done in the past, is the qualifying period. So normally, most of you are used to the fact that we would start the qualifying period on the 1st of July of the year, and that would go through to the 30th of June. But for this time, and taking into account all the natural disasters we've had, the impact of COVID, we've extended the qualifying period for 2 years. So that means that the qualifying period for these awards is going to be the 1st of July 2019 through to the 30th of June 2021. The exception to that obviously will be the new tourism business, and just check the rules and there'll be some more specific information on that.
So thanks very much, Andrew. You've told us about changes to the scoring for the submissions, which really reflect evolution of the judging process in line with our marketplace. And then you've also spoken about the qualifying period and how that has been taken back a year to really deal with, reflect the very up and down environment that we've operated in during COVID. And now I understand that there are changes to the questions that are asked in the submission. Could you please talk to those and tell our audience about them?
Yeah, so this year the question set has been updated for the 2021 program, so businesses can choose what they want to focus on. Strategies implemented to attract or grow new business, or strategies as part of their overall recovery and resilience to COVID-19. Therefore, the existing questions have been amended to enable a response from the business which is relevant to them. Whilst responsible tourism is an incredibly important part of any business, the challenges faced by many during the qualifying period make it difficult to respond to this question through no fault of their own. So rather than disadvantage businesses, the business's innovation, excellence in social, economic, environmental, ethical tourism can form part of their response to the business development question, and the responsible tourism section to be temporarily suspended for the 2021 program.
So Andrew, that sounds like some really good initiatives to provide more flexibility for operators as they are answering those questions. I really like the sound of that. I think that to me that sounds like it makes it a bit more comfortable. So that's really great. And I understand there are other changes as well to the word count. Could you talk to that, please?
Yeah, so because we have temporarily suspended responsible tourism question, just for this year, we'll also be temporarily reducing the word count. So that will now drop down to 8,000 words. The other thing that we're also introducing, Liz, is the Judges' Choice Award. So the Judges' Choice Award it'll recognise a finalist that judges believe to have shown great resilience and what has been in a very difficult time. The winner of the Judges' Choice will not progress to the Nationals because it's a Queensland specific award. However, there will be a separate Judges' Choice Award for the Nationals, and that will be judged out of the pool of the national submissions. The other thing is that the Judges' Choice Award will be determined from the list of finalists from categories 1 to 25, and watch this space. We'll get some more information for you about that.
Wow, it sounds like you've been very busy working with the other state judges, chairs, I expect, and also at a national level, and really reformatting the awards for this year to accommodate the special circumstances in which people are operating. And I think that's great. I think that makes complete sense to do that. And I think the other thing that I'd like to acknowledge is, and I know this is true, and I hear you talking about the calls you've been taking, there's always somebody to talk to, isn't there? If you're thinking about entering the awards but you're unsure, is it worthwhile, or have I really got the right things in place to do that, or has our lack of business or different way of doing business, will it affect it? They can always reach out and ask questions, can't they? one of the things that they can always do is jump onto email, because there's the team at QTIC who are ready to answer their questions with the email address awards@qtic.com.au. And I know that you guys are very generous as well with your time and happy to take calls as well. And I'd imagine we'll have a mentoring program again
yes.
this year. Yes,
yeah,
which
there
I
will
know.
be mentoring programs, Liz. Yeah, and look, I think the important thing for people to remember is that it's not about, this year we understand as judges that it has been a difficult period. So we're not looking, if you're looking at putting a submission in and you're wondering, well, gee, our sales are down or we haven't performed as we did, we're looking for other aspects as well, which is looking at how did you cope with the changes, what programs did you put in place to make your business more resilient. You know, we can, it's a great way to reflect on the extra work that you've done, and I know quite a lot of businesses have pivoted during this time.
No, absolutely. I certainly think as a judge myself, I'll certainly be looking for that contingency plan that people had in place, and certainly no one was ready for COVID, but to some degree, you know, contingency is very important and sustainability for our businesses. So we certainly were excited to see the Judges' Choice Award and see some of the stories and share some of those stories that are coming through.
And of course, with the time period going back essentially 2 years, there were other things that really set businesses and regions back too, weren't there? You know,
yeah, there was flooding, they had bushfires, you know, weather events. It was quite a long list. So.
Yeah, but it's not just about setbacks either. There are going to be businesses that have shined for other reasons and had to deal with a change in market, a growth in sales, because all of a sudden they've got all these people flooding to them, you know, from a local drive market that they weren't before. So I don't think there would be a business in tourism that hasn't experienced tremendous change over the last 12 to 24 months. And that's where the focus is, isn't it? So it's like all of a sudden the awards are about difference and much easier to talk about innovation than ever before, because people have had to innovate it.
And I think that businesses have got a great story to tell. You know, we're going to look back in this in a few years, and you've been able to then document how your business performed and how you managed to cope in quite a trying time. I think it would make some very interesting reading for the judges.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a great first webinar. Thank you so much, Andrew and Elizabeth, for sharing that information, and thank you for taking the lead on this very important year in the Tourism Awards. And we look forward to presenting more webinars to you. I know the next one you have planned is specifically for first-time entrants, and that's very important. You can think, oh yeah, I can do that award submission. I've heard about that. That'll be fine. But nothing like hearing directly from people who are behind the scenes about the tips involved when you're a first-time entrant. So that will be terrific. And overall, QTIC and the judges and everybody else involved really look forward to going on this journey with you. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.